Mercy Hospital changes up its visitor policy in response to rising COVID-19 numbers.
An American hero who was missing in action for 70 years is finally laid to rest on American soil. I'm Zach Dodge with the story.
Due to a recent surge in COVID-19 cases in our area, Mercy Hospital is changing up its visitor policy. This is KOAM News at 6. Mercy announced today it will once again limit the number of visitors. Starting Monday, patients will be allowed only one visitor per day. Mercy's President Jeremy Drinkwitz said in a statement, quote, "The health and safety of our patients, co-workers, and community are always our top priority, no question." Missouri state senators are locked in debate over a soon-to-expire tax responsible for a critical chunk of Medicaid funding. Work on the Missouri Senate floor was delayed for hours today. Senators disagree over a proposed amendment aimed at cutting off Medicaid funding for some family planning services. Senator Bob Onder wants to cut off any government money for Planned Parenthood. Senator Paul Whelan says he wants to block Medicaid coverage for the morning after pill and intrauterine devices when used for abortions. Although Planned Parenthood and several gynecologists have told lawmakers those treatments are not used to end pregnancies. An effort to strip the bill of all the provisions not directly related to renewal of the federal reimbursement allowance was defeated 2-1. Checking in with Doug Heddy. Chances of storms tonight, Doug.
Yeah, showers, thunderstorms are going to be rolling in our direction as we go through the evening hours. Now, most of these so far have just been in our far northern counties, really, let's say from Nevada, Fort Scott, Iola, Yates Center, points north. Everybody else still seeing partly sunny skies, very hot, very humid. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch out, and this is until 9 p.m. This is really from Parsons, Pittsburgh, Lamar points northward, but these storms will slowly creep a little bit farther south over the next couple hours, but we are mainly watching this batch out across central Kansas. That's what's going to affect most of us as we go through the overnight hours. So if you do have outdoor activities and you live from Parsons, Pittsburgh, Lamar south, you're going to stay dry, but these thunderstorms will start to increase late this evening into the overnight hours tonight. Some of these could be strong, possibly severe. Also some very heavy amounts of rain. Of course, we're going to break this down for you here in just a bit.
Thanks, Doug. Beware of blue-green algae in part of Oklahoma's Grand Lake. The Grand River Dam Authority recommends an advisory remain in effect for the lake's Horse Creek area after recent monitoring confirms the presence of the potentially toxic algae. Blue-green algae may resemble thick pea soup, green paint, or bluish, brownish, or reddish green paint. When it washes up on shore, it can form a thick mat on the beach, and the GRDA recommends people avoid swimming in those areas. An American soldier from Jasper County, Missouri, missing in action for 70 years, is laid to rest. KOAM's Zach Dodge gives us a look at the emotional funeral that was a long time coming.
One final ride for an American hero.
It's been a long time coming.
After 70 years, Sergeant Lloyd Allenbaugh is laid to rest in American soil. An emotional time for his nephew, Wes Allenbaugh.
We always had his picture hanging in the house, and my dad never gave up on fighting.
Lloyd Allenbaugh grew up in Reeds, enlisted in the Army when he was 21, and served as a member of the 7th Medical Battalion, 7th Infantry Division during the Korean War. He was last seen alive November 28, 1950, near the Chosin Reservoir in North Korea.
Sergeant Allenbaugh and the crew were greatly outnumbered. It was an ambush, actually. They were fighting a war, but they hadn't counted on an ambush.
His remains were not among those identified after the Korean War. It wouldn't be until decades later, in 2018, that a summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un would lead to the return of his remains to American soil.
So I have to wonder sometimes on why it took so long. We've had 12, 14 presidents since Truman, and took Trump to get him back, but all that matters now is it's finally done.
After being escorted to the cemetery in Reeds, he was given the recognition he deserves and laid to rest between his mom and dad.
The boy deserves to be recognized, along with all of them who lost their life.
Skating was big back in the early 50s and stuff. Said he was one of the best skaters around. He could about outskate anybody. See, I was only a year and a half old when he died, so I never got to know my Uncle Boyd. I say again, why did it take so long? But all that matters now is it's done. I'm feeling glad that he's not on Korean soil anymore. He's on our soil. Finally.
In Reeds, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Alan Baugh's name is recorded on the Courts of the Missing at the National Memorial Cemetery of the Pacific in Honolulu, along with the other service members who are still missing from the Korean War. A rosette will be placed next to his name to show he has been found. Still ahead, we're going to learn about some ways four-staters can get more in tune with nature by, let's say, picking berries in Joplin or planting trees like these Girl Scouts did in southeast Kansas. Can't beat homegrown produce, and while you can get fresh fruits and veggies at your local farmer's market, there's nothing quite like hand-picking it yourself. For our next four-state staycation, KOAM photojournalist Liam Mandelbaum takes us to the Robertson family blueberry farm in Joplin, where it's all about getting hands-on.
So we are just south of Joplin, and this is Robertson Family Farm. The farm has been here for about 20 years. We purchased it about 8 years ago. So this is truly a family farm. My in-laws own the farm. My husband and I work it. Also, we just have other family members who come out and help. So it's just it's a family-owned blueberry farm. We have buckets over here on a table. We also have belts. So some people like to put their bucket on a belt so they can pick with two hands. So two-handed picking. They go out into the field, they find blueberries, they pick them, and they come back, weigh them up, and we send you home with a bag of berries. We have 4 different kinds of blueberries. So it's like apples. They all taste like a blueberry, but they have a little bit different flavor to them. Kids are really territorial about their berries, so we let them bag their own berries. So we just put it over the top of the bucket and pour those berries down into a bag and dirty dishes. And then we go over to the weighing station. So then we just stick these berries right here on the scale, and they're $3 a pound for what you make, and so that's going to be about $6. So there's no ticks or chiggers or thorns or anything like that. So it's kind of like going to a park. Most kids love blueberries. So it's a good thing to just come out and, you kind of let the kids run around. It's important for kids to see where their food comes from. Truly, the difference in taste is amazing. The ones you get from the store, you think they taste great, and then you have a fresh one and you're like, oh my goodness, this is a blueberry. And blueberries themselves, it takes it takes a good couple of years for them to even be established as a bush. And so this is a long-term commitment. This isn't something that you're going to plant and be able to pick off of the next year. So, it takes a couple years for them to get established. So, we're in it for the long haul.
If you want to check out the farm for yourself, you should know it's open Tuesday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to noon and 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can find more information on our morning show page. The Columbus, Kansas Girl Scouts are taking on a pretty massive task, saving our world. The girls are participating in Project Planet. They're planting trees and doing all the dirty work themselves to help clean our planet.
The other badges, it's usually going places and doing fun stuff, but this would be our earning badge, the actually one that matters to me, because it's we plant trees and we're helping our universe.
As Reagan mentioned, Scouts, they're going to receive a badge for planting a tree. They have until Arbor Day to plant a tree and earn their badge. In Pittsburgh, the PSU Biology Department is instilling a love for our planet and its creatures through a series of day camps. Camps ran all this week and were geared toward first through third graders. The kids took part in insect collecting, gardening, and birding using binoculars.
Like, we went hiking, so that was probably my favorite part, when we went hiking and found the fossils.
The camp concluded today with an open house so parents could see everything the kids had learned. New Joplin business is trying to encourage folks to eat outdoors. Not exactly roughing it though. The picnic planner will set up your picnic with a charcuterie board, games, plates, pillows, and of course a teepee. Gotta have a teepee. Then for 2 hours you relax and enjoy drinks and food. It's the brainchild of Jesse Bauer and his wife.
It's really exciting. It kind of just happened really quickly. We thought about it one day and we're like, hey, let's just give it a shot. And yeah, we just got things rolling really, really quickly.
You can check out the picnic planner online. Later, health professionals explain what happened at Kansas splash pad that left a number of visitors very ill.
Showers, thunderstorms rolling in for us tonight. I'll have those details coming up. Well, another hot, humid day for us today. Showers and thunderstorms in our northern counties, which will affect everyone later on tonight. But really, for most of us, if you are doing anything outside, of course, it's summer, it's Friday evening, I think we look pretty good over the next couple hours if you don't mind the heat and the humidity. Outside, though, you can see the thunderstorms in our northern counties. So this is mainly Nevada, Fort Scott, Iola, Yates Center points north. Everybody south of that, you're going to be dry for at least the next few hours, and then we'll start to see some changes later on tonight. Also, a severe thunderstorm watch. Parsons, Pittsburgh, Lamar points northward, but this is mainly for this cluster, and you can see it's not really affecting the southern counties. It really won't affect them. We'll have to see if another watch goes out later on tonight that includes everybody for storms across the region. But these are pretty potent, mainly just gusty winds at 60, some large hail, and very heavy amounts of rain. These are very, have a lot of moisture in these storms, but they stretch all the way back into central Kansas. Our northern counties, you will start to get some showers and thunderstorms here in about the next hour or two as this batch kind of creeps a little bit farther toward the south. But most of us are going to get into this batch, which is developing out across central Kansas, and these will just kind of start plowing east and southeast as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Let's look at our future track. I'm going to stop at 10:30. You can see it's our northern counties, Nevada, Fort Scott, Chanute, Iola, Yates Center. Those are going to be the areas that will get scattered thunderstorms. As we go through the overnight hours, then they start sinking south and east. So this is after midnight, about 1 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. These are most likely going to be strong to low grade severe. Main threats here are going to be gusty winds, large hail, and heavy amounts of rain. Not really a tornado threat. Showers, thunderstorms continue into the morning hours. These are just going to be strong storms, and then we'll start to get a break across the region. Temperatures right now, a little bit cooler due to the clouds and the showers and thunderstorms in our northern counties. Everybody else, hot. It's very humid. Our dew points are up into lower 70s, which means we're kind of in that muggy to soupy range on our dew point tracker. Currently in Joplin, sitting at 91, still feels like 98 degrees, and through the evening hours, we slide back through the 80s, eventually into the 70s a little bit later on tonight. So we got these storms to deal with into the morning hours. We should get a break late morning into the early afternoon. You can see here 7:30, still scattered thunderstorms, and then they kind of roll out. We heat up again, not as hot, upper 80s, but then we'll start to get some scattered thunderstorms popping up again during the afternoon. 72 to start, 83 by noon, high temp of 87. And we do this exact same thing for about the next 3 or 4 days. Rainfall amounts just over the next 2 days. A lot of areas are going to pick up 2, 3, 4 inches of rain, so that's why we have a flash flooding threat, especially until about Monday. All right, 87 tomorrow, 85 Sunday, 83 on Monday. holding into the 80s all next week, but chances for thunderstorms each and every day. Of course, next weekend's a holiday weekend. Look at Saturday, 82, then it heats back up for the 4th of July, but at least mainly dry.
And it'll be good to dampen the ground in the meantime in advance of the 4th.
Yeah, we don't
of
want any
July.
fires.
For sure. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, visitors to a Wichita splash pad became ill after exposures to bacteria. We're going to hear from health experts about the cause and how parks and recreation departments try to prevent it. Some visitors to a Wichita splash pad later developed symptoms related to bacteria that contaminated the water. Reporter Haley Tucker spoke with health professionals to learn more about the Shigella bacteria.
Public pools and splash pads are supposed to be fun and relaxing, not make you sick. But after some people started experiencing symptoms of diarrhea and fatigue after visiting Tanganyika Wildlife Park's Splash Park, an investigation was done. The KDHE discovered the bacteria Shigella was linked to 3 cases of people who were at the park. Shigella can be spread easily from person to person through exposure to contaminated stool.
It really likes to eat away at the walls inside of our intestines. And so it causes some pretty nasty cramping, it causes some fever, and can cause diarrhea, even diarrhea at times that can be pretty bloody looking.
What do Wichita public pools and splash pads do if a child has an accident in the water?
A solid piece of defecation, what we'll do is we'll obviously scoop it out, take it out, clear out the area, add in some more chlorine, and monitor and make sure that we have plenty of chlorine in the water.
But for someone in the pool or splash pad who has diarrhea, Heltman says it's more concerning because that usually means the child is sick and may have strong cases of bacteria in their feces.
Clean as much as we possibly can and really add in a lot of chlorine. Usually it's up to about 4 to 5 parts per million. Usually we keep it between 1 and 2 parts per million. So then we make sure that the chlorine has had a chance to kill all the bacteria in there.
And Dr. Siri suggests fluids if you or your child gets sick from Shigella.
Pedialyte is a great option. It's really balanced well with the sugars and salts and fluids that you need. You can do a little bit of Tylenol or ibuprofen for the fever if they're really uncomfortable. I would not give them an antidiarrheal medicine that can make them severely ill.
Final check on the weather is next. We take time now to honor a local veteran, Sergeant Ralph Lemon. The Pittsburgh native served in the U.S. Army, and we are proud to salute Sergeant Ralph Lemon. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Jordan Abbey joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, going to hear how a fireworks shortage is impacting local sellers. Also, more than 150 people still missing after a condo collapse in Miami, Florida. And more businesses are mandating their employees get that COVID-19 vaccine. That, of course, much more coming your way tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Jordan, thanks. Now, visitors to Rome's Colosseum can now view the building from a perspective that few have seen in a couple thousand years. The subterranean levels have been open for tourists. Known as the hypogeia, these areas below the main stage are where animals and gladiators waited before going into combat. When it was their turn, a system of elevators would lift them to the main floor. The hypogeia used to be lit by candlelight, but since the stage floor has been long destroyed, sunlight can now reach that area. Earlier this week, Italy dropped its quarantine requirements for travelers from the U.S. and Canada who can show proof of COVID vaccination. No lions jumping through the floor tonight, but possibilities of thunderstorms.
Yeah, most likely not gladiators as well, which is always nice. Temperatures look pretty good, at least cooler over the next few days, but we are going to get showers and thunderstorms each and every day over the next several days. So a lot of rain. We need to watch for that flash flooding potential.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon service is provided by